Ladies and gentlemen, 2024 Ford Mustang Dark Horse. This one goes in as spec'd for $75,000, starting just under $60K, powered by a 500 horsepower, 5-liter naturally aspirated V8 with 418 pound-feet of torque. We got Magnarite dampers, Brembo brakes, Recaro seats are actually pretty nice and comfortable. And this comes with a $4,500 handling pack with Pirelli Trofeo RS 305 and 315 section width, front and rear respectively, stiffer springs, thicker anti-roll bars, and a gurney flap on the wing. 7,500 RPM redline, 6-speed Tremec manual transmission, not the get drag of the Mustang GT. This one's feeling a lot tighter, a lot better. All right, so we got these different drive modes, and we're gonna go up into track right there. I'm gonna turn off rev match. We got traction off. We got steering in sport, the adaptive Magnarite dampers in race mode, and we're good to go. And we're off. Got to shift right before redline. Peak power 7250 RPM. Redline 7500. Nice and easy to heel toe. Oop, got a little misshift there. Dude, this engine though, all consuming in the experience. Pretty agile, but I'm not sure if you saw right there, it took a little bit of time for that suspension to set. This turn always creeps me out because it's blind. Now this car weighs in around 3,900 pounds. And don't get me wrong, it handles its weight pretty well with what they've done to stiffen things up. When you get to the quicker turns, you definitely feel that weight. Actually getting a little bit of communication through the wheel. Definitely a lot more than the lower trim Mustangs. Brakes, they feel, you know, we got Brembos here, they're feeling, it feels like we already have some warp or pad deposit on them. I'm guessing this thing's already done some track duty in the past. But the brakes don't have as much initial bite as I would have expected. Steering is good, it's communicative. The chassis, I mean, on the medium to higher speed turns, it feels fine, it feels planned, it feels responsive, but when you're really trying to get it to change direction quickly, you feel that weight, that heft, and it actually takes a moment to set. So I'm not sure if this is the stiffest mode on the Magnarite or not. It's a really impressive suspension system. Magnarite, I mean, even on street, really impressive stuff. But here I would like it just a tad bit more firm to get better body roll. The squat and dive isn't too bad, but getting a little bit more roll again on those more technical turns. The engine being, of course, the centerpiece of this vehicle. 2024 getting a 5-liter naturally aspirated V8, 500 horsepower, 100 horsepower per liter specific output from a naturally aspirated engine that big. Gotta love it. The Tremec manual transmission, it feels nice, it feels tight, it feels notchy. The little mischief, that was just really user error. 2024 Ford Mustang Dark Horse Lap 2, joined here by the one and only Fenton Sun from the Zygreen YouTube channel. And I gotta say, man, this thing has surprised me. I haven't enjoyed a Mustang like this ever. This thing has a monster engine. I think the inputs are really dialed in. Really well-tuned chassis. Fenton, what were your thoughts?
It's the most technically proficient car I've driven here today. Doesn't make me laugh as much as the Ioniq 5N, but this is the car I would have as a track car, for sure. It's just so good. Engine, transmission, suspension, brakes. Only problem I have with it is the steering's kind of numb.
On to lap 2. That prior lap was the first lap of the day. Cold track, cold tires, cold brain. This is a few hours later, so we're gonna push it a little bit harder here. And the more I drive this car, the more I love it. It is a lot of fun, especially that engine transmission combination is such money, is so engaging to just push this car and interact with it in that way. The steering isn't nearly as good as some other vehicles, but I will say it is definitely a step up from the lower trim Mustangs, and it doesn't bother me as much as it's bothering Fenton. I do think that it does have a little bit of feedback, but again, not its strong suit, but I don't think it's a massive weakness. I think the weight is actually the biggest weakness, which you can see here in the chicanes, weighing almost 4,000 pounds, 3,900-ish. You just can't get around physics, and a lot of car companies are getting better and better at managing that heft, namely BMW with the M3, M4, which weighs right around the same as this, but at the end of the day, you can't fully get around it. It takes a moment to set, and you do feel that heft as you're pushing it. Should have gone into second gear there, but we're still in third. Not too much of a problem because the engine has plenty of torque. Overall, Ford did an excellent job with this vehicle. It is a pretty cohesive package. If you want a track vehicle at that price point of $75K, right out of factory, getting a little bit of oversteer there, had to correct. Right out of factory, bone stock, this car is so capable without really needing much. And it looks like whatever issues I was having earlier in the day with the brake warp or pad deposit seems to be resolved at this moment in time. And it's also a little bit grabbier. I think earlier on when things were colder, took a bit of time to get those pads warmed up, but now a lot grabbier with the brakes, feels more natural, and it's a little bit more congruent with everything else. And cool down. What a special vehicle. Was really impressed by this vehicle. It was really this and the Ioniq 5N that were my two favorites on track that day. Unfortunately, I didn't get to test this vehicle on the street. I would really like to see how the suspension holds up because MagneRide usually is really impressive on both street and track. And for a dual duty vehicle, I mean, this seems very promising based on my experience behind the wheel at Road America for 3/4 of a lap. But my friends, let me know what you think with a comment down below. Much love, and I'll see you all in that next one.